Testing. Testing. Okay, alright, here we go. So, yeah, we're actually. New start time will be 4:50, so we got 12 minutes for a pregame show. 4:50. I was uploading the highlights. I had to get them done. I had to get them in. So, that's. Well, 4:50 p.m. for puck drop, so we got 12 minutes for the puck drop. So, here we go for the pregame show. And this will be the first game that we're going to do this. Because after, I think probably tonight, we're going to private the existing videos. Because I'm not going to, and then we're going to, after this game ends, as soon as it ends, I'm going to get my phone, record the audio stream, and then upload to the SIHL radio network channel. And start doing that for the games. You can get the audio for free, you can't get the visuals. You can't get the visuals unless you just tune in live. You'll get like I think maybe a 24-hour notice. That's what I'll start doing. I think that's what I want to do. I'm gonna start limiting access. See if I want you to tune in live. I can't. Probably should hire somebody to interact with fans or something. I bet there's a way that I could. Like all you have is come up with like the questions and whatever. Probably could do that. So if it ever drags at the Calgary Cougars, we'll be starting this game at 4:50 p.m. Eastern instead of 4:35 like the scheduled start time because I need to work on being on time. That's gonna be our goal this season. Being on time. Getting where I can say 4:35 p.m. and then we start at 4:35 p.m. Or we start at I say 7:05 p.m. I'll try and be on time for the next game, which will be 7:35 p.m. start. It'll be 3. I believe that's. Oh gosh. Let me look this up. Yeah, because this is game 1 of a doubleheader of game 2 at 7:30. We'll have the Alaska Aces and the Seattle Stingrays in Seattle. Yeah, it's in Seattle. Okay. So 7:30 minus 3 hours should be. Yeah, it'll be 4:35 p.m. Eastern. 4:35 p.m. Pacific start time will be the Seattle Stingrays hosting the Alaska Aces. So, here we go, the Calgary Cougars and the Denver Dragons. So, take a look at this matchup. Let's go take a look at the Calgary Cougars record so far. We'll do this with Denver as well. So, last week, yeah, I know all these days have passed in the sim. In real life, these games were just a few days ago. Like, these were like right, it was like 4 days ago. So, first off, it was the Denver Dragons and the Houston Honey Badgers back-to-back series. And then we followed up by back-to-back here. On the road, Calgary, and then they'll go down south, over the Canadian-U.S. border, into the United States. Oh, hold on. It's a homestand. Guys, I'm so dumb. It's a homestand, but first hosting the Calgary Cougars. Stopping by, then they'll host the Minnesota Northern Lights. No, Minnesota North Stars. They're mixing my dang teams up. Finally, there is a hockey team called the Minnesota Northern Lights. I don't care. That's my baseball team. I'm gonna keep that name. These are the Minnesota North Stars. So, Minnesota North Stars, take a look at their 0-1. Denver Dragons, they lost their first game against Houston, but the 3-2, and then flipped the script, won 3-2 in game 2 of that back-to-back, 3 or 4 days ago. So today they're going to be taking on the Calgary Cougars in about 7 minutes. So let's take a look at Minnesota. The Minnesota North Stars. They hosted the Calgary Cougars themselves just a few days ago, and then Calgary Cougars Then they're gonna be playing Denver as well. Well, that's the North Stars, since Denver has to play them tomorrow. So that's Denver's game tomorrow. Because why not look at it? And the team we're actually looking at is Calgary. I'm just gonna go all the way out. The team we're actually looking at, yeah. So the Calgary Cougars played Minnesota with a 4-0 win. Really good start of their season, and then following it up by heading to Denver. They're in Denver today, and tomorrow they're gonna be back. They're going back home to host KC. They're going home to host KC for their first home game. Kansas City wins. All right, so let's do a quick look around the SIHL. Yeah, so last night we had the 2-1 Columbus win over the Winnipeg Wolfpack. We had the 1-0 New Orleans Crusaders overtime win over the Philadelphia the Philadelphia Falcons. And then this game, ooh boy, what a game! The Boston beating the Toronto Titans 9-0. So I don't even. This Toronto team is so bad. They remind me of the 2024 San Jose Sharks. Specifically in early November. If you look up November 2024 San Jose Sharks, people thought they were going to be the worst team in hockey history. That didn't happen, but that's the level of bad Toronto is right now. So today the Toronto Titans, it's like a 6:35 p.m. start. They're going to be in Providence, Rhode Island, taking on the Rhode Island Steamboats at Smokesticks, and they're the newest SIHL franchise. So there is that. First slate of games today. So we have that. I mean, obviously we won't have the results yet, even though these games already happened with the Baltimore Blast hosted my Atlanta Freight Trade. Freight Trade on a 2-0 win streak. The game already finished, of course. That was one of the earliest games. Gosh. Let me check the schedule. Let me see. So, let's take a look at the schedule. So we had Atlanta and Baltimore. That was the first. The next one was this New York Atlantics Quebec City Royals game in New York, Admiral Arena. So the New York Atlantics on 2-game winning streak. Excited to see that one. That one's already finished. And then as we go down, we have the Philadelphia and New Orleans game 2. I'm gonna try and see how Philly can get a win at home in that back-to-back series. And then we have Columbus SIHL and Winnipeg Wolfpack. That's finished also. So the Columbus SIHL, Winnipeg. Let's see how they do after that back-to-back series. So and the Miami Vipers and the Washington Monuments. This game up here. So the Miami Vipers at Venom Center, 0-1. Washington's 1-0. So I mean, look for their first win in this game. Yeah, these are still early. That was a 1:35. It's done. And then after that, Rhode Island and Toronto. And that game is done. Start with the two. And then we have the Houston Honey Badgers and the Austin Bandits. That should be wrapping up soonish. As it's almost 4. It should be wrapping up soonish. Have the scores hopefully either tonight or early tomorrow morning. Then we have the Denver Dragons. Then we have the Denver Dragons and the Calgary Cougars getting underway in 2 minutes. That's us. Oh gosh. And then we have final game of the night. We have Seattle and Vancouver. That'll be the second game of our doubleheader. In Seattle Stingray Center. So that's these guys up here. Oh yeah, we have Vegas and LA. Where are they? Where are they? Where are they? Do I have them listed here? I don't think I do. Oh wow, I do not have them. So these guys, I don't have them recorded, so that should be like, gosh. You know, I'd say 6:30, maybe 6:10 first puck drop. I think that sounds about right. 6:10. We don't have it written down here. 6:10 puck drop. Yeah, I do decide when these games start. The start times. So we're gonna do a real quick look at lineups real quick, and then our starting goaltenders, and we're gonna get this thing underway because we can. Not box scores. I always do that. So we're gonna go to edit line. It says edit lines, but we're just gonna take a look at the goal starting lineup. So take a look at your offensive starting lineup for the Calgary Cougars. You got Ovechkin, Barkov, and Ross. Really good top line there. Shinikov, Comfort, and Matt Michkov. I swear. Michkov. I'm just grabbing Boston. I can't find him. Michkov. Matt Michkov. What? That's all. Why do I remember that? So we have Matt Michkov, JT Comfrey, Igor Chinikov, Teddy Bluger, Oscar Sundquist, Nick Deloria, John Beecher, and Zach Sanford. That's our offensive line. Yeah, we're gonna go. And let's take a look at the defense real quick. Taking your top two defenders, Adam Fox and Matthias Ekholm. Yogacine Gatteller and your Chernak as your second pairing. Your bottom pairing, which still has a really good player, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, OEL, and Dylan Coughlin. And then we're going to be moving on to Calgary, and we're going down. Denver. In my memory. So starting with the offense, you got Trevor Moore, Theo Watkins, Jonathan Huberdeau on that top line. Your solid top line, Robbie Faber, J.G. Pageau, we have the Manta. And then that's your second line. And your bottom six, Paling, Lindell, and Mike Amadio, Alex Barbeau-Boulet, Nick Bonino, and Nick Deloria as your bottom six for the Dragons. And taking a look at your new pairings, Josh Morrissey and Sean Dursey, Ruben James and TJ Brody, Ville Heinola, and Artem Levshunov. And then taking a look at your starting goaltenders for the starting with the Denver Dragons, we'll have Daniel Tarasov. We'll have Daniel Tarasov. He'll be the Dragons starting goaltender today. So his actions gave UC Saros a rest. You can see he played the first two games on the season. And then we're gonna be into the Calgary Cougars. So for the Calgary Cougars, they're gonna have Stuart Skinner. So Stuart Skinner gonna be your starting goaltender tonight for the Calgary Cougars. All right, let's get this one underway. And again, I don't have a get her underway. And the Dragons are gonna be in their alternate uniforms today. So how about that? Hope you enjoy this one. Glad to have you tuning in. Sit and enjoy the game. Hello and welcome to Denver, Colorado, a mile high, We're in Mile High City, and we're underway. The Denver Dragons and the Calgary Cougars. Sit back and enjoy this one. Glad to have you tuning in here on a Sunday afternoon for the first of a doubleheader, which is the now split right at the front with a shot there and a save. Scooped up at the near corner by Josh Morrissey. He's pinned against the wall. And bit of wrestling there. Fox with a shot for the point, and a shot there and a save. And he said shot twice. Here's Jonathan Huberto. The Denver Dragons able to poke check it in. He'll skitter its way in deep as Matthias Ekholm able to retrieve it there down low in his own zone. Adam Fox on the right side. He lost control right to the front of the net, but Barkov able to walk off any scoring chance. Alexander Ovechkin able to get it over to Brian Rust. Right in front, Rust with a shot save down low on the backhand. Back up by Chinikov. Shot there and a save. Theo Watkins. And he's cornered. Theo Watkins. And speed out to Jonathan Huberto. Over the line, Huberto with more. Their loose puck. Alexander Barkov along the right wing. Oh, he's bodied a big hit. Oh, and he's hurt. Oh, he's down. And we have a fight between Sean Dursey and that's Yegor Chinikov. And they're going at it big time. Fists. And looks like but even that old Chinikov getting some punches in. Dursey getting some punches in. And Sean Dursey wins the fight for the Dragons. Sean Dursey going off for fighting. Same with Yegor Chinikov. JG Pajot and JT Comfort taking the draw. In the Dragon zone, and Denver able to win the draw. Out to the neutral zone, Robbie Fabry able to move in right to the middle. Anthony Matthew with a shot and a save. Stuart Skinner right between the pads, and he holds on for the whistle. There were 6:28 to go in the first. 3 shots for the Calgary Cougars, 1 for the Denver Dragons. Glad to have you tuning in here on a Sunday afternoon. The Denver Dragons 1-1. Meanwhile, the Calgary Cougars 1-0 with a 4. The only game being a 4-0 shutout against the Minnesota North Stars. The Denver Dragons the Denver Dragons played 2 games against the Houston Honey Badgers to start the SIHL regular season. They lost 3-2 to Houston in their first game, and then won 3-2 in their second game. So 16:01 remaining in the first. 3 shots apiece. JG Pajot on that second line with Fabry and Mantha for the Dragons. JT Comfort with Malestein and Michkov for the Calgary Cougars. Back up high, Raymond James able to rip one shot there and a save. Eric Chernak able to get out over the neutral zone, able to move on it right on in the feed. In the far corner, Robbie Fabry for the Denver Dragons. JG Pajot. The neutral over the blue line. Pajot. JT Comfort spinning back in. Able to move right through center. Top of the left circle, he lost control. Anthony Mantha for the Denver Dragons. Over to TJ Brody for now Ruben James on the rush. It looks, here he comes. Ruben James with some speed. Pajot in the middle with a shot and a save. Back in the far corner, Matt Michkov. Bank off the boards to Delorier. Delorier looking for the lane, but he's knocked off the puck by Artem Levshinov. Ruben James in it with the Dragons. Over to Trevor Moore, feeding Jonathan Huberto along the right wing boards. He drop off feed for Artem Levshinov on the back end with a shot and the save by Stuart Skinner. So 13:30 remaining here in period 1. So the Dragons with some pretty good opportunities off the face-off win there. Villanova, he took a hit. And here's Zach Sanford. Sanford out to center ice for the Calgary Cougars. Nick Delorier. Nice feed. Beecher with a shot save. Theo Watkins skips it back up. Watkins on the rush. Watkins. Bit of a dig. Oh, what a pass to Trevor Moore. Shot there and a save. Scooped it to the right side of goaltender Stuart Skinner. There's Delorier able to move out to center and over the blue line. Nick Delorier. And Trevor Moore, nice steal. Back on the rush for the Denver Dragons. Here they're going to move on in. Here at Fireball Center. On a Sunday afternoon. Ready to throw a shot. Save. Rebound. 2 saves. Back on the near side. Theo Watkins. Watkins. The front with a shot turned aside. And Teddy Loger able to scoop it up. And there's Malenstein for the Calgary Cougars. Back the other way. And Jonathan Huberdeau. Nice lead. Over to Aaron Lopchinov back on the near side. The Houston Honey Badgers and the Austin Bandits going at it in the Central Division today as there's a shot and a save by Stuart Skinner in the Calgary zone. So yeah, the Austin Bandits and Honey Badgers, they got underway at 3:30. So they're about done by now. Here's Adam Fox off the face-off one for the Cougars. Trying to get a passing in there, but there was nobody there. Daniel Tarasov going to get out of his zone to play it for the Denver Dragons. Here's Mike Amadio. A good move to get around the defender. Top of the right circle, hand off to Lindell with a shot there and a save. And it goes to the left side of the ice for the Dragons. And Rust able to get out to center. Well, he gets a pass. And here's Alexander Ovechkin with Brian Rust. Peter Rust for the shot and a goal save. Daniel Tarasov holding on for the whistle with 9:33 remaining here in period 1. JT Comfer for the Cougars. Paggio, the face-off win for the Dragons in the Denver Dragons zone. Oh, Paggio took a hit, feeding off to Anthony Mantha. Here's Robbie Fabry along the left side, moving into the middle with Josh Morrissey, which I didn't see much of him with the puck today. Here's Adam Fox. That was the first time I got to say his name. For the Dragons, shot there to save back on the near corner. Here's JT Comfer back up. Moving in, top of the left circle. Fox in the high slot with a shot. A weak shot, but a save. Daniel Tarasov, and he holds on. So we'll have another face-off. This time to his left. 10 shots for the Dragons, 7 for the Calgary Cougars here in the first period. Ruben James off face-off for the Dragons. Anthony Miller out to center ice. Mantha trying to find the open lane. Mantha shot there and a save. Back on the near side, Eric Chernak pinned against the wall. Back on the near wall. Here's Dick Delorier. Pick it over the center ice line. It's going to be dumped into the zone. Goes in deep behind the Denver goal line. Behind the net in the trap zone. The turnover is Zach Safer down low, bottom of the circle. Nice thing pass off the boards. Back to the front, but TJ Brody able to take it away. Here's Anthony Mantha out to center ice for the Denver Dragons. Able to move on into the offensive zone. The feed intercepted by Cernak in the slot. For the Calgary Cougars, Watkins gets the backs for Denver. Back up high, Brody. More top of the right circle. The wrist shot and a save. Stuart Skinner, and he holds on. So we'll have a face-off once again. So some big hits in this one. Not a crazy amount of hits, but definitely some hits. Theo Watkins on that top line out there for the Denver Dragons with Trevor Moore and Jonathan Huberdeau. Moore on the left, Huberdeau on the right. And he wins the face-off. Brody with a shot with the line, but blocked by Teddy Bloger for the Calgary Cougars. On the rush, he is with Malenstein. Malenstein with some space, but it's closing quickly. Malenstein moving to the middle on the backhand. Sundquist a shot. Easy save for Daniel Tarasov, holding on for the whistle with 5:59 remaining. So TJ Brody tried to take a shot, and he took a big hit along the blue line. So Theo Watkins facing Teddy Bloger. That top Denver line still out there. The face-off, Dylan Coughlin. Over to Ekman Larson for the Calgary Cougars. Here comes Ruben James. Poked away there, skipped up by Malenstein. The drop-off, Dylan Coughlin. The pass through center, Teddy Bloger in the high slot with a shot there to save. Daniel Tarasov with the pad. So, third line out there for both teams. Teddy Bloger for the Calgary Cougars and Tom Lindell for the Denver Dragons. Teddy Bloger able to win it. Oh, a big hit against the Cougars defenseman. When he gets back up, he did lose a stick. We're back to play. Here's Mike Amadio through center and over the line with Paling. In the backhand, Ryan Paling with a shot. Easy glove save. Stuart Skinner holding on for the whistle. Some pretty good chances here in this one, but I mean, not much really opening up in this hockey game. So, one of the counter defensemen, it was Oliver Ekman Larson, that's who it was. He took a huge hit right after the last face-off. We'll have another face-off here against the same two. Bluger and Lundell. And Bluger runs it for the Calgary Cougars. Fox in the corner. And they get out of their own end. Right through the middle, it's Oscar Sundquist moving towards top of the right circle. Goes with a backhand shot and a save. Sean Dursey was one of the two who fought earlier in this period. 3:45 to go in the first. Kamani over the line, but Bluger able to strip him of the puck. Allenstein unable to hold on to it. Penalty to Anton Lundell. And we'll have a Calgary Cougars power play. Lundell going to the box. The call going to be like a slash or a hook of some kind. Well, yeah, that's a slash of the hand. He's going to the box. Cougars to the power play for 2 minutes. So, glad to have you tuning in. You're listening to SIHL TV and Radio Network. Your station identification. SIHL. 29 teams. Should have covered at the front there. SIHL has 29 teams, and SIHL TV and Radio Network broadcasts every single one. And we have a game about every single night. Yeah, not the greatest identification. So John Beecher, oh, he slashed a guy. Not the answer. So he's going to the box. We're gonna have a 4-on-4. So John Beecher for the Calgary Cougars going to the penalty box. So, J.G. Pageau against Gore, and the Dragons win the faceoff, and but a rip one glove save. Stuart Skinner, I've definitely seen harder slap shots. Not that wasn't a hard slap shot, but I've seen harder ones. 27 on the 4-on-4. 2:52 here to go in period 1. 15 shots for the Dragons, off the faceoff. Lishnov going to rip another one in the save by Skinner. This one goes along the right side boards. That one behind the net. Adam Fox for the Cougars. Long lead pass to Brian Russ, who's got two Denver defensemen in front of him. Gets around him with a shot save by Daniel Tarasov. Pretty much a chess match throughout this first period. 2 minutes remaining in the first. Sundquist knocked out by Pageau. And here's Pageau for the Denver Dragons. Intercepted by Oscar Sundquist, who's poked away, but he recovers. And he loses it again as he takes a big hit. There's Brian Russ with that going with some speed right in the slot, but too many bodies in the way. And here's Anton Lundell, and the Dragons able to go the other way. Lundell got some speed. Backhand. Not gonna make a smart play. And oh, he's knocked out the puck. He went airborne. And he went down. He's alright, though. Glad he's alright. And the Dragons power play, which was left off for the 4-on-4, comes to an end. We're back to even strike with less than a minute to go in the first. There's Beecher along the wall. Adam Fox over the red line, the checkered red line. JT Comfort able to move on in. So Watkins over to Huberdeau. Denver Dragons up the ice. Jonathan Huberdeau. Here's Yegor Chinikov. Good pass over to Adam Fox. Moving over his own blue line through the red line and into the offensive zone. One more chance. Adam Fox needs a save for Daniel Tarasov. 2.9 seconds remaining. We'll have one more face-off before the period ends. .9 seconds remaining in the first. Theo Watkins and JT Comfort. On the face-off, it's Eric Chernak able to rip one save there. Sean Dursey. And we'll have a whistle. So 20 minutes of the books here in Mile High City. The Denver Dragons and the Calgary Cougars scoreless after 1 here on a Sunday afternoon. You are listening to the SIHL TV and Radio Network. So this is the SIHL Intermission Show. Glad to have you. So period 1 between the Denver Dragons and the Calgary Cougars in the books. 16 shots for the Dragons, 12 for the Cougars. So the Calgary Cougars here, looking, they look almost even. That's the best way I could describe this. Calgary Cougars definitely some good hits. Dragons with some good hits. Dragons winning some more face-offs. Dragons with more shots. Dragons, they have a little bit more on the stats, but when you watch the actual game, they look pretty similar. Both teams are 0 for 1 in the power play as they had one each. There was a 5-minute major, which increases the penalty minutes to 7. So, pretty close game here in Mile High City for the Denver Dragons. And they're in their Their alternates, which the alternate logo reminds me of like a Harry Potter logo, if you can see it. It's like the dragon crawling with the little fire bits around him, and then the red and black shield with the gray outline. Love that alternate jersey. So, and the Calgary Cougars in the red whites with the blue pants and the blue and orange stripes. So we're going to move on to period 2 between the Calgary Cougars and the Denver Dragons. What have you here on the SIHL TV and radio network. Alright, here we are, period 2. In my eyes, it is the Denver Dragons and the Calgary Cougars. Denver Dragons in their black and orange alternates, which look absolutely fantastic in my opinion. Calgary Cougars in the road whites with the blue pants and the orange stripes. We're underway in period 2. Still a scoreless game after one pretty even chess match in period 1 between these two teams, as Morris able to move through center to the left side, back to the middle. Trevor Moore able to rip one, but it went off the stick of his teammate Theo Watkins. He has it back down low, and Trevor Moore some good passing. Shot there, missed the net by Watkins. To the other side of the ice, it's Watkins again down low, right to the front, but Fox intercepts. Ryan Rust out to center and over the red line. Cut across, but two defenders in his way. Two Calgary defenders in his way. The Dragons able to go the other way. And now here is the Calgary Cougars back up the ice. One Dragon defender this time. He gets a walk, goes right past him. Easy shot, but an easy save for Daniel Tarasov. Daniel Tarasov, the backup, giving the starter a break for the Denver Dragons. Oh, who is it? Who is it for the Dragons starter? Fabry, down low, on the bottom of the circle. Oh, nice move. Stewart Skinner the save, and holding on for the whistle with 17:28 to go in the second. UC Saros is the starter for the Denver Dragons. So Oscar Sundqvist. Oh, here he goes. Sundqvist to the break. The Cougars in a save by Tarasov. Puck in the corner. Mallenstein in the far corner. Back up high over to Ekholm. And whipped on the shot. Anthony Mantha takes it away for the Dragons. Up the ice here. Here they go. Fireball center. Pajot right to the front with the shot blocked off. Looked like blocked off a hand. And it goes out of play, then back in. So we'll have to have a face off. 16:37 remaining in the second. So about 2.5 minutes gone by. 3.5 minutes gone by here in the second. Well, there are the Calgary Cougars. They're Chernak the face-off win. Here's Einstein barely knocked off. Ruben James for the Dragons regains control. As Brody's able to pick it up, and Ruben James up the ice with it with a shot. Missed the net line. Scooped up by the Calgary Cougars. Seems to be a Dragons line change happening currently. The Dragons back in Billy Hanola. Top of the right circle, able to move on in. Trying to go right to the front with a shot. Too many bodies in the way. Chernak able to get it out. Easy save there for Stewart Skinner. Back out the ice. Chernak for the Calgary Cougars. Sundqvist look for the open lane, but Billy Hanola able to block it and take control. But he turns it over right afterward to Yegor Chinnikov. And he struggles to hold on to it himself, battling with Ryan Paling. Got off of the loose puck. Scooped up by Michael Maggio. Clear center and over the checkered red line. Able to move on in, but he's back to Kelly. Still takes a hard slap shot and a save by Stewart Skinner. Okay, there, Stewart Skinner does seem to be a bit of a workhorse on the SIHL. Amadio trying to get to the front. Stewart and Calgary takes it away. Here come the Cougars back the other way over the red line. Chinnikov with speed, but he's surrounded. Chinnikov cuts in with a shot. Blocker save to the far side it goes. Chinnikov retrieves his own puck. And Artem Levshinov, he knocks him off. Paling, here come the Dragons the other way, but no, Russ intercepts it, and back the other way we go. Scoreless game, almost halfway through, 13 minutes remaining in the second. Russ back in, shot there, Ovechkin and a save. Down low is JT Comfort for the Calgary Cougars. Ryan Rust. JT Comfort, Brian Ekman-Larson with a shot there to save. On the right side, Dylan Coughlin. Shot there, blocked away by Mike Amadio. Into Artem Levshinov. Ryan Rust. Shot there to save. Back out on the near side, Brian Rust. Back up by Larson. Shot there to save. Daniel Tarasov to hold on for the whistle. .141 to go in the second. On the face-off, Josh Morrissey over to Trevor Moore. For the Denver Dragons, over the red line, able to find Jonathan Huberdeau, able to move on in on the backhand. Oh, he took a big hit. But the front, Theo Watkins in a save. Back out, Trevor Moore back up high over to Morrissey, but he's sandwiched. And Ovechkin able to take it back out to center and over the line, but he's unable to hold on to it for very long. And along the left wing wall is Trevor Moore looking for options, looking for passing lanes, and he finds Watkins to the front with a shot and an easy save for Stuart Skinner. So Theo Watkins and John Beecher taking the face-off for the Dragons and the Calgary Cougars. About halfway through, 10-20 remaining in the second, so we're almost exactly halfway through this one. Slap shot. Oh, what a hit! About to Huberdeau. And goalie penalty for the Calgary Cougars. More, Theo Watkins down low. Back up by Josh Morrissey. And we'll have a slashing penalty to Zach Sanford for Calgary. So the Dragons are gonna go to the power play. So where's oh, there it is, Sanford. Yep, I saw it. I saw the slash. So that was like a clear slash. Theo Watkins taking the face off against Mountainstein for the Cougars. Dragons on the man advantage. The face-off line. Dragons obviously have not scored on the power play. Neither team has scored at all. Still a 0-0 hockey game. And we're over halfway through. As that gets stuff down to the ice by Cougars forward or defenseman. Here's Theo Watkins over the checkered red line with two Calgary defenders in front. Huberdeau as they try to move through the middle, but Chernak just shuts down a scoring chance with ease. Eric Chernak able to find Alex Ovechkin on the backhand for the Cougars. And Mountainstein out to center once again, and he dumps it into the Denver zone. He goes in deep, scooped up by J.T. Paju, finding Raymond James as the Dragons regain possession. And the center, Huberdeau back check, but he evades that. And a bit of a loose puck there. Huberdeau gets to it because he was the closest Dragon to it with a shot there and a save, skipped up by Ovechkin for the Calgary Cougars, who clears it down the ice and it goes all the way down. And to call off some more time off this Dragons power play, which there is less than a minute remaining on the Dragons power play. Johnny Beecher with a shot there and a save by Tarasov, and will hold for a whistle. We'll have a face-off upcoming to the right of Daniel Tarasov. Bracket's stuff's going pretty smoothly. I'm not gonna lie, this is going pretty well. Better than some of the past ones. Anton Lundell and John Beecher, skipped up by Jean Darcy. I'm gonna get over to Anthony Manton over the checkered red line. Looking at cut across maybe? No, but lost it anyway, so scoring chance potential got eliminated right there. Sean Dursey has it in his own zone. And some good passing among the Denver Dragons. Right on the ice. Robbie Fabry. Anton Lundell with a shot. Nice pad save. Back of the narrow boards. Adam Fox. And we're clearing out on the ice. Denver Dragons. Josh Morrissey is there as well. And looking to the front with a shot there and a save. Looks like the Calgary Cougars are on a line change. And we'll have a face-off as Tarasov holds on for a whistle. Anton Lundell on that second power play line. Chinikov along the center, and he lost the face-off for the Dragons. They got the command though. Trying to get around these two Calgary defenders. Shot there and a save. Dylan Coughlin checked off the puck. And he gets it right back over to JT Comfort. The Calgary Cougars able to move on in. Nice pass, Smuchkov. Shot there, blocker save, and it goes out of play. We'll have another face-off with 7:17 remaining here in period 2. Still a scoreless hockey game. It's been a chess match. It really has been one. Nick Bonino and JT Comfort out the face-off going all over Ekman Larson in the high slot. JT Comfort drop up. High slot with a shot, and Herbert James will take it away after the save by Tarasov. Brody out to center and over the line. It's on the rush. Brody drops it off Bonino. Bonino with Barboulet with a shot, and he scores! Barboulet! 1-0 Dragons here at Mile High. So, took some blood, sweat, and tears, but finally the Dragons break through here in the back half of the second. So, moving up the ice, Dragons 3-on-3 rush. Good pass among the Dragons. And Barboulet, he's the one on the sticks. He has it last, and he just fires a simple wrist shot and gets right past Stuart Skinner, and the Dragons lead 1-0. So finally somebody's on the board. It's Barboulet for the Denver Dragons. Bonino and TJ Brody the assists. Started out the face-off. He got one of the assists in the goals as he dumps it in to the Calgary zone. Goes in deep over Ekman Larson. Over to JT Comfer. Gorchinikov lost it quite easily. Barboulet once again behind the goal. And he's right back out there. He's Gorchinikov. Able to go over to Oliver Ekman Larson. Long pass over to Matvey Michkov. Michkov still going. And he's got a bit of open space, but he's got to get around these defenders. A shot and an easy save for Daniel Tarasov. Time for Dylan Collins, able to rip a slap shot and a save. Tarasov, and he holds on. Save for the goal. Oh, there. I mean, it is blow. A really good glove save there on the slap shot. Theo Watkins taking the face off against JT Comfort to the right of Daniel Tarasov for the Dragons in the Dragon zone. Watkins face off win for Denver. TJ Brody drops it off for more. Here's Matvey Michkov. Adam Fox for Calgary. We dumped in the zone. Able to go around. Oh, what a hit! Big Archidikov able to move over the blue line. Top of the circle, shot there and a glove save, Daniel Tarasov. 4:25 to go. Here in the second period. Theo Watkins and Teddy Bloger. On the face off, Adam Fox. Matthias Ekholm. Oscar Song goes to the back end. Adam Fox able to rip one. That one blocked by Morrissey. The Dragons 4-4 to go in the second. Dragons with possession over the red line. And the Denver Dragons are going to be dumped in. And here's Matthias Ekholm. Glad to have you tuning in here on the SIHL TV and Radio Network. I'm finally starting to have an idea for how I want to build that out. Is there a shot they're going to save? Teddy Bluger on the far side boards. Able to get over to Adam Fox, who keeps it in. Shot over top of the goal. Scooped up by Morrissey down low behind the Denver goal line as the Dragons trying to get out of the zone with Sean Dursey. Good feed from Dursey over to Robbie Fabry along the wall. Back to Dursey. Dursey right to the front with a shot there and a save. Stuart Skinner holding on for a whistle with 2:43 remaining here in the second. Some Oregon. How about that? On the face-off, JT Pacho over to Billy Hanolo. JT Comfort in the way. Pacho picks it up, shot there, save. Right in the front, they score! Anthony Bantha, first goal of the season. 2-0 Dragons. There's a lot of bodies in front. Mantha and the defenders, I don't know what they're doing. There's 3 Calgary defenders all scrunched up. And then Mantha alone with the goaltender, and he has the puck right in front of him and just shoots it in the slot. Bada bing, bada boom. 2-0 Denver, just like that. And Calgary Cougars making some defensive errors, especially in that play. Here's Matthias Ekholm as we're right back on the way. Brian Rose able to move over the line. Calgary Cougars still with a goose egg on the scoreboard. The Denver Dragons back into neutral ice. Merchant picks it back up for Calgary in the neutral zone. Comfort, Kodrag trying to move in. Nice move, Fox. Back to Comfort right in front, but too many bodies in the way. Comfort with a shot right in front. Tarasov an easy save. Tarasov's been doing pretty fantastic, but just the thing is, the Dragons defense has covered a lot for him in this game, so he hasn't had to make too many really difficult saves. Some big hits in this game. I've seen, not like the quantity is actually not that high. Usually the quantity is pretty high. Quantity's pretty low for this one. Here at the Fireball Center here in Denver. Oh, what a hit! I tell you, not a crazy amount of hits, but when we do have them, they're big. We're on the backhand over to Brian Russ with a shot there. Evan Schnauff is there. I'm going to get over to JJ Paja. He's over to Hanoa as the Dragons try to gather the zone. They do successfully. Hanoa on the rush with the puck. Top of the left circle, but it's poked away there by Jonas Siegenthaler for the Cougars. Calgary with possession. Beecher over the checkered red line along the right wing. Moving back to the middle with too many bodies in the way, so he's forced to get rid of it. Scooped up by Hanoa in the Dragons' near corner. A lot of bodies battling. A bit of a scramble for it. Dragons comes out with it. Beecher right to the front with a shot to save. Beecher. And that will do it for period 2. Dragons score 2. First, Anton Lindell, and then Anthony Mantha. 2-0 Dragons. You are listening to the SIHL TV on the Radio Network. So back to the second part of the intermission show for this game. Calgary Cougars say the Denver Dragons. Glad to have you tuning in. Here on a Sunday afternoon, game 1 of a doubleheader, the Denver Dragons of the Calgary Cougars with 3 shots apiece, but the Dragons lead 2-0. It was not Anton, it was Barboulet. It's Barboulet, not Lindell. My mistake. Yeah, we're gonna call this second mission. We're not gonna start yet. So, take a look at this. Very similar stats. Okay, there was a little more hits than I thought, but there was a lot of those probably are not big hits. There's been probably 10 to probably half of those 10 hits per team. So it's about half of those hits were like proper hits. I think these hits counters are a bit off. It's my opinion. So pretty similar times on attack. Calgary is starting to look to be. Their play looks similar, but Calgary is noticeably struggling in certain areas. It's hard to identify exactly where they're struggling, but I did on the second goal specifically. I did see there were 3 Calgary defenders, all clumped up, and then Anthony Manthos on his own island with Stuart Skinner, and the puck's right in front of him. So what is he going to do? He's going to shoot it. And that's what he did, and he scored. That's the only major mistake I've seen from Calgary. Just other than because I'm seeing a lot of back and forth, because nobody can really gain control of it. But the Denver's got a couple in. So the game's tied. The Dragons lead the game 2-0. Let's see how period 3 goes. The final 20 minutes. Sit back and enjoy. Here we are, period 3, final 20 minutes of regulation. Dragons lead 2-0 over the Calgary Cougars here on a Sunday afternoon at Fireball Center in Denver, Colorado. Here for the SIHL, and we're back underway for the final 20 minutes of this one. In game 1 of this doubleheader, game 2 will be at 7:35 p.m. start between the Seattle Stingrays and the Alaska Aces at Stingray Center in Seattle, so be sure to tune in for that one as well. So Alexander Ovechkin able to move in with some blazing speed with Adam Fox, a shot to save. Ovechkin back to Fox. Those two do seem to be working well at points in this game, Fox and Ovechkin. Moore, top of the left circle, moving right to the middle. Shot there and a save. Morrissey, middle of the right circle, shoots another save. Stuart Skinner holding on. So we have another face-off and a stoppage of play. There's a lot going on here, and a lot of games going on today. I'm going to have to catch up. Theo Watkins, JT Comfort off the face-off win there. Got the Huberto. And there's JT Comfort. On the near side. Bit of a battle. DSI Coleman's there as well. Goes cross-ice with Brian Rust. Moore. Beating Watkins. Lost it. Brian Rust took it right back. JT Comfort over the red line. Able to move in the offensive zone. JT Comfort. John Dursey takes it right back as well. Here's Theo Watkins back along right wing. Huberto back check heavily, but he's able to enter the zone with ease. Moore with a shot right to the front in the Calgary zone. And save there. Bluger along the right wing. Back out the other way going into the Dragon zone. Stunk spread through the middle with a shot and a goal save. Daniel Tarasov holding out for the whistle. We'll have a face-off to his right. Pretty good Denver crowd here on a Sunday afternoon. On the face-off win, Sean Dursey along the near boards. Both highlights for yesterday's game and the game before, both Toronto games. Toronto, New York, and then Toronto, Boston. Or the Toronto, New York Athletics. Which they look to be the best team in the East right now, winning both their games, and they've scored, I think, like 12 goals. Either 9 or 12 goals. I can't remember exactly. And Baker's pass, Joe Mantha right in front with a shot there and a save. Mantha rebound, 2 saves. Stuart Skinner off of Mantha. 2 saves off from Skinner off of 2 Anthony Mantha shots. J.G. Pageau and Teddy Bluger taking the draw. So Pageau for the Dragons, Bluger for the Cougars. On the face-off win for the Dragons, win it. And Robbie Fabry for Denver. A shot missed the net, back of the near boards. The Calgary Cougars out to center ice and over the checkered red line, as you'll see. Everybody's back checked so heavily that he lost control of the puck. Casual also back checked well, and Skinner the save, and he holds on for the whistle. 14:15 to go in the third. Anton Lundell taking the draw against Teddy Bloger. Both teams' third lines are out there. On the face-off line. Shot there and a save. No rebound. Hit right along the blue line. Big hit. Might come out here behind the goal. Tensions are getting high here at the Fireball Center. Allen starting over the blue line. Top of the left circle. Moves on in with a shot and a good save. Daniel Tarasov putting on for the whistle. Just a regular Sunday afternoon Denver environment. Team ain't no Colorado. This crowd ain't no Colorado Avalanche, but they've been pretty good. Pretty good for the Dragons here today. Anton Lundell. Calgary on the face. They won the face-off. Shot there, a slap shot and a save. Sanford right in front of his Beecher, but he lost control. Malpanio, bit of a stumble there along the wall there. And here's Phelan, gets it right back with Ruben James for the Dragons as they go up ice. Ruben James. Lundell back in the narrow corner. Dylan Coughlin. Lundell. Amanio off the iron, stays out. On the far side boards, Zach Sanford. Johnny Beecher. Lost possession, Ryan Phelan. Knocked off. Oliver F. Larson, JT Converse there as well. Good passing on the Calgary Cougars lineup that is out there currently. Delore back up high to Kyle with a shot there and a save. Daniel Tarasov in front and holds on for the whistle. Theo Watkins and JT Comfort taking the face-off. 11:13 to go in the third. 39 shots for the Dragons, just 35 for the Calgary Cougars. But the teams have been... they played very similar styles of hockey. I think that's what I'm noticing. Mr. Murray would move on top of the left circle, but he drops it off for Ruben James, who successfully gets control, but he's battling to hold on, and he loses it to Yegor Chinikov. A long cross-ice pass from Ichkov. Over on the outside, Ekholm in the middle with a shot there and a save. Tarasov from the right side, who was Yegor Chinikov. Jam from the Denver crowd, which I didn't even know until after the last shot hit Tarasov. But Tarasov's been 35 for 35 today. How about that? So he's had a perfect game so far. Not in a baseball sense, but he hasn't made any mistakes yet. Goaltenders can't make a lot of mistakes. So Sean Dursley in the offensive zone for the Dragons all alone. And it was pretty quickly. Calgary Cougars get back out to center. Ekholm able to move it over the blue line. And Jonathan Huberdeau, Josh Morrissey along the left side. Back to the middle is Theo Watkins. Josh Morrissey through the middle. Top of the left circle. His pass right out in front didn't work too well. Sundqvist there, back on the far side. Matthias Ekholm over to Adam Fox. Along the right wing boards. Morrissey steals it away from him. Down to 8:22 to go in the third. Here comes the Denver Dragons back in the offensive zone over the line. Badge over to throw the shot there. That shot, Moore missed the net. Trevor Moore. And turned it over to Matthias Ekholm. Tried to get it back. But before he could get the puck, Adam Fox swooped in and stole it instead. Sundqvist back in the offensive zone for the Calgary Cougars. Right to the middle of the shot. Rebound on the backhand. 2 saves for Daniel Tarasov, and he holds on for the whistle. This has been probably the smoothest broadcast so far. JG Pascio and John Beecher taking the face-off, won by the Dragons. Sean Dursley on the other side. Round 1 Calgary Cougars, but there's still 2 in front of him. And he's being back-checked by a third. Calgary right to the shot. Front with a shot there and a save. On the far side it goes. John Beecher is there. Feeding, doing a second dollar. Stanford along the far side, going right to the middle. Anthony Meta. Passing for the Denver Dragons, trying to get out of their zone. They successfully do. Pajo through the middle with Fabry for the Dragons. Shutout still intact against the Calgary Cougars, as the Cougars are trying to get out of their own zone, which they do. Beecher back in offensive territory, right in the slot with a shot and a save by Tarasov, holding on with 5:55 remaining in the third. 2-0 Dragons. Sunday afternoon, less than 6 minutes remaining. Outside my window, it doesn't look too good. I see some gray clouds, which it did rain earlier today. We got a delay penalty on the way against the Calgary Cougars. Dragons going to the power play once again. John Beecher going off for interference. So John Beecher going out for interference. Now he just stood up. I don't know what that was. But anyway, Dragons power play line out there. 5:39 remaining. Lead by 2-0. This would seal the deal. Cougars with a face-off short-handed, and they clear. Next start the penalty kills. It goes all the way down the ice into the Dragons, and the Dragons unable to intercept it. Anthony Mantha for the Denver Dragons leads the way with 3 Calgary Cougars surrounding him. Lindell, Mantha, shot, save. Lindell couldn't get a rebound as Chernak was in the way. Oscar Sundquist back on the airboards. 2 Calgary defenders in front, but he's able to bypass them by dumping it to the side and down. Thursday gets it back, and the Dragons going to recycle once again. And out of the zone, Anton Lindell on the far side. One teammate on the near side. And Lindell drops it off Morrissey. Shoots, save! Puck up high in the air, stays in play. Chernak battle down low, Mountain side behind the goal. A bit of a battle for it. Sundquist back check heavily, but he holds on to it. Feeding Ekman Larson, top of the left circle. Slowing down. He's cornered and finds Sundquist before he loses it. Fox feeds, save of the pad, back on the near boards. Shot is. Hawkins able to move in with a shot and a save back on the far side. Trevor Moore trying to move right to the front with a shot. He scores! Trevor Moore, first goal of the season. That should seal the deal for the Dragons. A power play goal. 3-0 Denver. So, I want to take a look at that again. So, there he is. Gets him from the side, moves right to the front, backhand, forehand, goes 5-0 right through Stewart Skinner, and it's 3-0 Dragons. Trevor Moore is first in the air. Watkins and Morrissey the assists. Out there on the Dragons win it. Here's TJ Brody. Less than 4 minutes remaining. Oh, what a hit! Some big hits in this one. Going to take it all in to get out there with Ovechkin. He's got them speeding. Ovechkin. Hopefully, maybe we'll see if he can avoid the Cougars from getting a shutout. More for the Dragons, able to move on in along the right side, down low in the corner, right. Watkins to the front, and Siegel gets it right back. Goes back over the line, then right back into the Denver end once more. And the Denver Dragons get it back in their own zone. Play a bit of back and forth here with the Calgary Cougars in the final minutes of this one. Dragons clearly trying to just run out the clock. Shot there in the save. And Skinner holds on with 2:11 to go. Whistles are for the Dragons. Whistles are the enemy. They want this game to end as soon as possible. They want that clock to run down. Anton Lindell. Other off. TJ Brody took a hit. Adam Fox. Brody slowed to get up, but he seems to be all right. I couldn't tell. I think he just went to the bench. So Dragons on a line change. Ovechkin able to move on in the final 90 seconds of this one. Ovechkin shooting in a goal save, being Alterisov holding on for the whistle. And Calgary Cougars, I mean, it just seems like Calgary Cougars, they had some fight early on, but they just haven't made the right decision. So Brady took a big hit. Oh, yeah, as I said earlier, there's a guy with popcorn. You can see him there on top right of your screen. On the face-off window, I know. Popcorn's good. I like popcorn. And the one thing when you go to stadiums is they always give you way too much. So if you're gonna get a thing of popcorn, make sure you can share it with people. Otherwise, you're not gonna do very well. So we're into the final minute now, and the puck's up right side over the line with a shot there and a save. And as the puck like almost rings around the boards, goes the other side while we face off to Daniel Tarasov's right. Tarasov 49 seconds away from getting his first shutout of the season. He's a backup. Shot there, save down Tarasov. So Tarasov might be a good goalie of his own. A good starter of his own, which that might be. That's just very interesting. probably will have a trade deadline. I don't know. Shot they're going to save back at their side. John Beecher is there. Nicolore. Here's Hanola over Anton Leshanov over the red line. Able to move on in the offensive zone. On the far side, Amadio is there with a shot there and a save. Compelling a rebound and another save there by Stuart Skinner, who's just struggled a bit today. There's Dore, but his defense did struggle at points as well. Final 20 seconds of this one. Johnny Beecher able to move in. Slap shot from the top of the left circle. Easy save. And I know on the corner trying to run the clock out for the Dragons, which the Cougars trying to get some shots off. Final seconds taken away. Down to the final 5 seconds. Your next shot for the point. We'll save with 2.5 seconds. We'll have another whistle. Should be the final whistle of the hockey game. Dragons will shut out the Calgary Cougars 3-0. One more face-off. Dragons win it, and that should do it. The Dragons defeat the Calgary Cougars 3-0 on a Sunday afternoon. Dragons win the first of a doubleheader. And tomorrow they're going to be facing the Minnesota North Stars here at the Fireball Center. And I'm Thomas Hero. It's glad to have you tuning in here on a Sunday afternoon. The Dragons and the Cougars. Final score: the Dragons defeat the Cougars 3-0. And you are listening to the SIHL CBN Radio Network. The post-game show is next. Stick around. You are listening to the SIHL CBN Radio Network. It's time for the post-game show. Alright, hello, welcome to the post-game show. Dragons defeat the Calgary Cougars 3-0. So the Calgary Cougars, the Calgary Cougars today, they played good. They played a good game. They had one issue. They couldn't score. The thing is, it's almost, you know how like when in audio, like this is how noise canceling headphones work. So I have a pair right in my hands currently right now because I have one. So with noise canceling headphones, how it works is you take it takes the sound that it hears from the outside, and then what it produces is an inverse of that exact same sound, and then it nullifies it. And what I'm going to connect this back to this game is the Denver Dragons and the Calgary Cougars played a very similar style of hockey. What seemed to end up happening is that they almost cancel each other out, and then it just looked like a lot of the same. And then the Denver Dragons, they had their offense seemed to. They got lucky. That's kind of the reason. It became a game of mistakes, just because the skill was. And then Calgary made a few mistakes. The Dragons did not, and that broke up that almost had like negative, the sameness that broke up that whole thing, because it was like nullifying itself. They were nullifying each other because the talent was so even. Then whenever the Calgary Cougars made mistakes, that's where the 3 goals for the Dragons came. And then the Calgary Cougars, they struggled to match that in the third period, and then they just kind of minute by minute fell apart as that period progressed. So that's your post-game show. I'm Thomas Rose. Glad to have you. You were listening to the SIHL TBN Radio Network. See you for Game 2, the Seattle Sasquatch, and the Seattle Stingers. It'll be 7:35 tonight. Hope you tune into that one as well. I'm Thomas Rose. Glad to have you. Goodbye, and good afternoon.